Well, after everything that's happened over the past few weeks, the question now turns to, is a Donald Trump win seemingly inevitable after Biden doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down on the lack of borders with the same narrative? Well, if you want a strong border, you are racist and you don't like minorities. Of course, that's ridiculous, and a lot of independents think it's crazy. That's why Trump is now up by 20, 30 points, according to most polls, when it comes to independent voters. It's like you realize and you look at the data, and you're the most unlikable president ever. You're losing the general popular vote. Maybe in terms of a State of the Union, it's time to reverse course and try and actually attract some of the independents, but they've gone out and now completely doubled down, and it's almost like a backlash against Americans. And of course it turns into this, well, America's just a racist society and everything like that. A lot of Republicans are just sitting there laughing, considering the amount of independents that they are winning. Now, when it comes to the polls, you've got Trump up in basically every swing state. New poll comes out, Trump's up in Georgia. I think Trump is going to win Georgia, at least right now. I know it's a long way away. There's going to be a lot of manipulation. There's going to be a lot of money that's invested. Now, it's interesting because I do want to do a video specifically talking about Elon Musk's effect on the election in 2024 as a comparison to what happened in 2020. Guys, remember the dystopian society that we had, and even liberals need to admit that whenever you have all of social media on one side, it's a big problem for a country, and that's exactly what we had in 2020 with basically every big time social media, Facebook, Meta, Twitter, Instagram, they're all very left wing. The influence that Musk has on this election by opening up X, and you can say, look, X has gotten worse. I do think there are some problems with X in terms of when Musk decided to pay creators. The issue with that is you're incentivizing low effort content, and that's why you're seeing a lot of people, just weird bot things tweeting out random stuff, and then you get this viral tweet, and underneath it, it's like, oh, look at this, here's a little seal clapping. It's like, this is just not good, Really, X's replies have been ruined, unfortunately. But of course, this is way better than what we had before, where all of the big social media platforms were very far left. So just looking at these polls, Georgia, when you include everyone, how about that? Another thing that's interesting, you include Kennedy, West, and Stein, it actually helps Trump in many of these polls. Seems like a lot of people that would slightly lean Biden when you open it up are actually voting for Kennedy. North Carolina, Trump up by 5. And you've got a general election poll with Trump up by 4. When you include the whole band, he moves to +6. And really the big thing you want to look at when it comes to the state of the election in terms of actual odds would be the betting average. And you can see Trump maintaining around a 45% chance there. Biden's up around 32, 33. The reason Biden has an uptick there, I'm guessing, is because of the State of the Union, and it does seem extremely likely that Biden is running. You'll notice Trump really didn't go down. What happened is, it looks like Gavin Newsom and Michelle Obama went down. It's becoming more and more obvious that the Democrats, at least right now, it's looking like they will be trouting Biden out for 2024, and he will be the Democratic candidate, but Trump up very comfortably there. So based on this data and based on what we've seen from Democrats, you watch CNN during the State of the Union, they come out, they say, oh my goodness, abortion is going to swing it for Democrats. That makes no sense to begin with. When it comes to the Republicans' opinion on abortion, first of all, I really don't have a strong opinion on it. I never have, but abortion is a moral-based topic. So you really think that Biden and his horrible approval rating, he's going to be saved by abortion and Republicans and their morality be around abortion? Really? And it's like, oh, it's my body, my choice. Yeah, it's your choice to have unprotected sex. There's consequences to that. I never understood that argument. My body, my choice. Yes, if you don't want to have a kid, do not have unprotected sex. That's your choice. How about my body, my choice? What if I go kill someone? That's my body, my choice. But there's consequences for it. You can't just do it. So That never made sense to me, but it's like this whole idea to where abortion rights is what's going to save the Democrats in 2024 when it's it's not like conservatives are greedy with abortion. That's a morality based thing. They're saying that no, because life is so valuable, it's very important that societies understand the action, because obviously having unprotected sex, it feels really good. It's just like eating cheeseburgers every day feels really good, but if you do it, you're going to be very unattractive. There's problems that come with it. So I don't understand the idea of, oh, they're going to be saved by abortion, which is a morality-based thing anyways. And listen, America's racist. This is the Democrats. They're seeing all these polls. It must be we're all just white people that are racist. That's got to be it. Trump and Biden should both be terrified of a third-party vote, according to this person. Well, no, the third party this year is, I think it's going to play a minimal role. It really doesn't see. We'll see what ends up happening. It's very hard to predict what's going to happen with Kennedy just because it's such a unique case where we really haven't had this amount of money and this notoriety behind an independent candidate. And this is why I think The Rock will be running as an independent in 2028 personally. But I don't think they should be terrified of a third-party vote. Kennedy is a very unique situation. It's not like we know for sure Kennedy's going to hurt Trump or Kennedy's going to hurt Biden. It's hard to really say who Kennedy hurts more. We know for a fact that Cornel West is going to hurt Biden. Jill Stein, it's kind of, whatever, right? That's another one that probably not going to get many votes. Voters see double standard in Trump charges for mishandling classified documents. And this is why this really is a non-story. Biden has the documents. That photo, you could see him in the back garage. And this was never going to be a big thing. Americans don't care about the documents. It doesn't matter. It's a waste of time. And that's why they won't talk about it anymore. House to move ahead with bill targeting TikTok as Trump flips to oppose it. This is really interesting. So probably about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, I talked about TikTok, why it needs to be banned. Trump was the first one, really, when it comes to U.S. politics, to bring dialogue to banning TikTok back around 2020. You can see Musk then agrees. Billionaire Musk joins Trump to denounce TikTok ban, calling it censorship and government control. So basically what's going on here is Trump and Musk are seeing that there was full bipartisan unanimous agreement in this bill to ban TikTok, and they understand the amount of lobbying that Meta does when it comes to the government, and they're saying, look, this is going to really help Facebook, and we don't want that. But in general, I disagree with Trump and Musk on this. Maybe I don't have all the information, but when it comes to something as obvious as TikTok, which is clearly Chinese malware, the way they use TikTok is completely different than here. And you've got kids, apparently they're seeing this ban could go through. They're freaking out. They're calling the government. They're saying they're going to kill themselves. It's very sad what TikTok is doing to young people, the obsession that they have over the app. I mean, I guess I can understand that Trump and Musk are looking at this, realizing Meta is going to get a bunch of more users, but I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant to how popular Meta is, because amongst younger people, I feel like Facebook is very irrelevant. That's just my opinion on it. I know Zuckerberg, his campaign donations to the Democrats, I get it, but it does feel like in the long haul, I've always viewed China as the number one biggest threat to the United States. If you don't view China as the number one biggest threat, you need to do some research. Seriously. You want to say, oh, it's Russia. Look at the economic growth and the comparison of Russia and China in the technology. It's not even close. China would love it if you believed that Russia was the biggest threat to America. But, I mean, what's a good analogy? It's like, a Division II team versus a Division I team. It's not comparable. China, based on numerous factors, is in a different ballpark than Russia. And China's come out and said, listen, we want to have the number one economy in the world by the year 2050. So it seems pretty clear to me that a ban is in order. Of course, another thing that's very annoying with things like this is they'll throw something else into the bill and try and get it by people. But if it is bipartisan, I would expect it to just be the TikTok ban. And then people say, well, it's censorship. Well, we're censoring other countries, not America. It's different. when you've got another country bringing their app in, the China standard of TikTok, which is basically China, and what they do to their kids and how they police it is completely different. They're very strict with it. So when you've got a blatantly obvious situation like that, it would almost be just too ignorant not to do something with TikTok. It's not about censorship when it's a foreign power using technology and the guise of a creation of a new technology to manipulate younger people in the United States. So I think the ban is fine. I don't use TikTok. I probably used it maybe in 2020. Doesn't really bother me one way or another. You know what is interesting? Somebody actually has a TikTok account for me and they post my clips on there. I think I have about 10,000 followers on TikTok. So you know what? Maybe I should be calling the government and getting pissed off here. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.